Coming to you from the Finneran Pavilion after the first ever Women's Philly Big Five Classic, Villanova suffered a loss to Temple. Final score 76-62. Dominic Richetti, I'm David Szczepanski, and it's time for our key takeaways here at the Finn on this cold Friday evening. But really, a great tournament for women's basketball, especially in the city of Philadelphia. What is your first key takeaway, Dom, as we watch the Owls celebrate on our own court tonight?
That definitely hurt to watch. I think my key takeaway for this women's basketball team is that when they get cold, they'll stay cold for a while, and that second half, they were cold the entire time. Defensively, they weren't clicking. Offensively, they couldn't get anything going, and I think, if I'm Coach Denise Dillon, my message to this locker room is, we need to turn things around in the game, right? Halftime can only be so long, and, when it's third quarter, fourth quarter, that's when we need to turn things around.
I think that's a really good key, Dom, and I think that relates to the three-point shooting, right? Villanova was 0 for 11 in the first half from behind the arc, and even though, they made some shots, they finally made 3 three-pointers in the second half. They finished the game 3 for 20, and that was after a game where they shot over 50% at St. Joe's. And in addition to that, Dom, just for me, kind of one of my takeaways is just their defense, right? And we really talked about in a pregame show how good Villanova's defense was, right? Giving up 64 points per game, holding number 16 North Carolina in the Bahamas to under 55 points. But tonight they really struggled, and, hopefully that was just an off game, but they showed that, when Temple came out and they really, especially Tiara East, who finished the game with 26 points, she was really the MVP. How good was she just knocking down so many three-pointers in the second half?
She was fantastic. She only had 9 points in that first half, came out in a big way in that second half, finished with 17, hit 2 really big back-to-back threes to extend a Temple run that they had in the middle of that game. She was outstanding in this game and deservingly won that MVP.
And Temple as a team, shot over 50% from the field. That went into it as well. So just a lot of struggles for Villanova offensively and defensively. Coach Dillon in her postgame press conference talked about how the intensity for this team was pretty low. She wasn't happy the way that they performed in the Philly Big Five championship game. So hopefully the Wildcats can turn it around in their next game. Unfortunately, Villanova will have to settle for second place, at least for this year. But there's always next year, Dom. So I know that you won't be here as a senior, but I'll be here. So hopefully we can bring home a victory next year. But for Dominic Richetti, I'm David Szczepanski, coming to you from the Finneran Pavilion, the home of the first ever Women's Philly Big Five Classic. Have a great rest of your weekend. And as always, go Cats!